We tend to believe history is built on steel, steam, and silicon. But there is a silent architect, a material so mundane we literally eat it for dessert, yet so vital that without it, the 20th century would be unrecognizable. This is the B side of gelatin. It is also called as hydrolyzed collagen. It is harvested from the structural protein of the animal kingdom. Most of us know it as the jiggle in a bowl of jelly, a culinary novelty that shivers at the touch. But that jiggle is actually a high-tension molecular cage. This simple culinary trick of trapping a liquid inside a solid was the exact solution to a chemical crisis that was blinding the world's historians. 1871, history was a wet mess. Capturing a moment in time was a high-stakes chemical race called the wet plate collodion process. It started with a glass plate and a thick, sticky solution of collodion. This wasn't just paint, it was a binder, a physical film that held the entire experiment together. From the moment that plate was dipped into a silver nitrate bath to make it light-sensitive, a clock started ticking. You had exactly 15 minutes to expose and develop the plate before it dried. If the plate dried, the image vanished forever. Every photographer was a mobile chemist. They worked under heavy dark cloths, adjusting the focus on images that appeared upside down and reversed. They dealt with exposure times of 20 seconds, an eternity where the slightest movement ruined the shot. It was volatile, messy, and required a portable laboratory for every single shot. The B side of this frustration belongs to Richard Leach Maddox. By replacing the sticky collodion with a stable, porous gelatin grid, he stopped the clock. The dry plate meant a photographer could coat a plate in London and develop it 6 months later in New York. The meat byproduct didn't just capture history, it democratized it. The Duquesne incident. But once we learned to record history on gelatin, we quickly learned how to hide it. In 1941, the FBI dismantled the Duquesne spy ring. 33 Nazi spies whose primary weapon was a 1mm piece of gelatin, the microdot. This wasn't just a small photograph, it was a microscopic theater of war. At a time when the world communicated through massive paper dossiers and heavy radio equipment, German intelligence had found a way to compress a mountain into a molehill. German intelligence realized that paper was too coarse for high-level espionage. The fibers were like canyons under a lens. Instead, they used a pure gelatin emulsion, stripped from its glass backing to create a freestanding film microns thick. These dots, containing entire pages of technical blueprints, were glued over the periods in typed letters or tucked into the hidden crevices of wristwatches. In 1941, double agent William Siebold handed the FBI a wristwatch from his handlers. Inside, they found what looked like dust. Under a microscope, those dust motes were revealed as these translucent gelatin slivers. The FBI was stunned. They weren't looking at dirt. They were looking at the schematics for American bombers and troop movements, all shrunk down to the size of a pinprick, popularly known as the Duquesne spy ring. This ability to hold impurities is why gelatin is the ghost in your glass. In brewing, freshly fermented alcohol is a soup of cloudy proteins. Gelatin, which carries a positive charge, acts like a biological vacuum cleaner. It grabs the cloudiness, clumps it together, and sinks it to the bottom of the tank. Even the language of warfare was colonized by this texture. In 1875, when Alfred Nobel mixed nitroglycerin into a stable, jelly-like solid, he named it gelignite, purely because its physical memory mimicked the dessert of his era. From the clarity of a lager to the grim reality of forensics, gelatin's ability to mimic biology is unmatched. Ballistic gelatin is calibrated to perfectly mimic the density of human muscle. To a ballistics expert, This block is a ghost. It allows them to see the trauma of a bullet, the shock waves, without a human subject. The history of gelatin teaches us that the most profound secrets don't hide in safes. They hide in your kitchen, your camera, and your medicine cabinet, dissolving in plain sight. Until next time, for the interesting B-side of the yeast, click the linked 2-part video next.